Hello everyone. In this video, we will discuss the purposes and functions of art. Our textbook begins this chapter with this statement: art forms us by meeting our needs. Because people need food and shelter, people cook food and build houses. So, the types of food and houses show who those people are. Art meets our deeper and more subtle needs than food and shelter, like cultural, religious, and political matters. Let's look at this sculpture. It is an icon representing Jesus Christ on the cross, which is called the crucifixion. This sculpture was made for a Christian person or family or a church to see and meet Christ and to have spiritual connection with him. However, when we think about this sculpture as an object in a glass case in an art museum, its function is not religious anymore. Like this, one work of art doesn't necessarily have only one function. As we see art within its social and cultural contexts, we can divide the functions of art in these 6. As we see art within its social and cultural context, we can divide the functions of art in these 6 categories: art for daily use, for visual delight, for communicating information, for public and personal expression, for the spirit, and for the political purposes. Now let's see how art functions in daily used objects. Here we're looking at a lamp made by Tiffany in the early 20th century. In the late 19th century, the artist thought the machine-made objects like table lamp or chairs and like furnitures became ugly and had low quality compared to medieval time crafted objects. So the artists gathered together and made a movement which is called the art and craft movement. They wanted to make daily used objects like artworks. So they wanted to bring like beautiful objects in people's house, like in the everyday life. So this is one of those objects. This was the time that product design began. So today, when we buy something, design of that object or the product is a part of our reasons to buy that object, right? So art can be functioned as daily used objects. Let's move to the next one. Embellishment. Art can decorate our everyday life, like this building. Here we're looking at Louis Sullivan's building in Missouri. It was built in the late 20th century. Here, the carved decorations don't have any specific functions beside embellishing this building. So, this one doesn't make this building cooler inside or blocking any water or any of those like utilitarian functions, but solely decorating this building. So this building is not just a box, right? And also these capitals on this column-like here, these decorations even refer to previous architectures, like Greek architectures here. And these floral patterns also from the art and craft movement too. So it's a part of that idea. We are deserved to enjoy everyday life beauty. The next function is the visual delight. Last week we thought about what beauty is, and now we know the definition of beautiful varies depending on person to person, culture to culture, and time to time, right? In some cultures, something beautiful must also exhibit a certain idealism. In other words, beauty is not found in the everyday, but rather in something that is ideal or close to perfection. Ancient Greek art is famous for their idealism in works of art. Here we're looking at a Greek bronze sculpture, charioteer. Let's see how this sculpture shows ancient Greek people's idealism. The ancient Greeks believed that if a person achieves the ideal state of the human, then that person could become a god. In this sense, they created a lot of the perfect human images in their human figures. For example, this sculpture shows very symmetrical face, very symmetrical body forms too, and large eyes, and small head, and they even had an ideal proportion of the body too. So 1:7 proportion was considered as ideal body proportion. So when a sculpture or an object meets that idealism, that object looks good on the viewers. Another common definition of beauty includes a pleasing balance or harmonious proportions. Here, Claude Lorrain's painting shows the visually delightful image of a landscape by using harmonious colors. Let's look at some details here. Lorrain used mostly blue and blue-green colors in these paintings, so those colors ease our eyes. There are not a lot of popping colors, so our eyes are moving from sky to the mountains to the waters and the buildings again, like smoothly. And also, the very calm horizontal line and the vertical lines gives us very stable feeling. So with those implied lines and also very analogous blue-green colors give us more like soothing images and more poetic rather than dramatic landscape here. Like this painting, the visually pleasing and poetic landscapes are termed picturesque, which means picture-like. So picturesque images of landscape give us delightful impressions about the scene, even if the scenery is disaster, like the pictures of war.